Yo, yo, yo. What's up, people? Welcome to the Music is My Business podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Clint Jr. Now, what's up, man? How y'all been? It's another week. It's another Wednesday. Excited to be back. Excited to chop it up and hang out with y'all. Let me see what we got in the chat. Let me know where you guys are from. Let me know what you do. And if you don't know who I am, my name is Clint. Most people know me as ClintMusic on IG and YouTube. I specialize in producing music for TV and film, and I also teach producers how they can monetize their music by teaching them how to produce, prepare, and pitch placement-ready music for TV. That's what I do. So if that interests you, make sure you stick around because we're going to dig into some dope information today. Michael Smith just became a channel member. Shout out to Michael Smith. Shout out to Team Dope in the building. Rob Hamlet, I see you. What's good? Everyday Runway. What's up, Everyday Runway? Good to see you. Good evening, Clinton chat. Oh, that's Rob again. What's up, Rob? Zimzada's back in the building. Yo, yo, what's good? Team Dope in the building. I see you. Audi Cast, what's good? Good to see you in the chat. Let me see. We got Tent Peg Productions. Brandon here from Kentucky. It's my first time. Well, welcome. Shout out to the first timers. Listen, you come the first time and then most people end up coming back. So I'm just letting you know. You might be in here more than once. So if this was just kind of like a kind of one-off situation, you got something else coming because we kick it hard over here. Will the World TV, what's good? Jazz Will, good to see you in the building. Man, so today, shout out to Zimzada. She actually brought this topic up. We are going to talk about perpetual rights in the realm of sync licensing. Is it good? Is it bad? We're going to talk about the good, the bad. So yes, in perpetuity, the scary term that you will see, if you work in sync licensing and you work in getting your music placed in TV and film, you will come across this term in some of your sync deals and licensing agreements and things like that. So we're going to talk about it. Let me see. We got See the Producer Beats. Looking forward to this live and beat review. Oh, you already know, at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, we reviewing music, seeing if it's ready for TV and film. That's always a dope vibe. So definitely looking forward to that. I was definitely like a couple minutes late to this joint because I was trying to get this water real quick. Because your boy was mad thirsty. And I did not drink enough water today. I've been like, it's been crazy. But I got a refill, so we're good. Kenneth Johnson, Team Dope, what's good? Can I still send the track? Yes, in the on the live stream. I think it should be already be scheduled on my YouTube channel. So submission details is in the description of that stream, scheduled stream. Or if you just want to come on at 9:30, instructions will still be in the description, and then you can submit that way. Water is absolutely life. I agree 100%. Gotta have that water, man. Gotta have that water. Gotta stay hydrated out here. So first off, hold on. I gotta get my kids on monitor because my wife went to the gym. So let me make sure I'm being a responsible parent in case one of these knuckleheads wake up. They're asleep, but you know how kids are, man. They be asleep one minute, next minute they running down the stairs asking for a snack. This 4-year-old will not stop eating. He's been hungry while eating for the last 3 months. It's insane. Like, it's just nonstop. He just eats. That's his thing, eating nonstop. He finishes dinner. He finishes snack. He finishes breakfast. He finishes lunch. Every time afterwards, he's just like, I'm hungry, Daddy. So that's where we at. Shout out to the grocery bill that'll probably be growing exponentially as these boys grow. So crazy. So, all right, let's dig into perpetual licensing agreements. Is it good? Is it bad? In fact, this is what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do? We're going to ask my virtual AI assistant. That's what we're going to do. So for those who don't know, I've been like geeking out on AI like real heavy for the past few months. So I've been training specialists, AI specialists in my business. And this goes deeper than Chat GPT. I know a lot of people think, you hear a prompt and everybody knows Chat GPT and Google, Bard or something like that. It goes a lot deeper than that. Because if you don't know, Chat GPT 3.5, I think it goes up to like 2021. The way I'm using and training these specialists, it doesn't matter. It can be 2021, or you can use the paid version. I think it's like Chat GPT 4. Pay version is more updated in 2021. But the way I'm doing this is next level. So I'm gonna show y'all. We're gonna put her to the test because I've been training her on a lot of different information. She's a specialist in sync licensing and being able to help with questions and stuff that that people have, if they're on the site or they have questions about sync and music business, specifically for producers as well. So we're about to put her to the test, and I know the answer to this question. I've trained her to know the answer to this question, but I've never asked her this question. So we are going to pull up Asia real quick. And we're going to see if Asia been studying her stuff. And I've been trying to train Asia. Asia better know what's going on. So, all right. So we're going to go. I have her on the website as an AI chatbot, right? So aiforproducers.com. So if you click this thing, this is going to pull up Asia And yes, I spelled Asia with an AI because I just thought it was the most clever thing. Do not judge me. I told you I've been geeking out. All right, so we're gonna ask Asia, and then we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna first we gotta make sure she gonna give us the right answer. All right, so all right, how should we phrase this? What are the pros and cons of perpetual sync licensing agreements? All right, Asia. Oh shoot, here she goes. She's giving us the breakdown. She has a lot to say. Hold on. All right, Asia. Okay, so here we go. Perpetual sync license agreements have both pros and cons. Let's break it down. Pros. So number one, long-term income. With a perpetual agreement, your music can continue to generate royalties for an indefinite period of time. This means you have the potential to earn passive income from your music for years to come. Asia she done got it right. That is correct. I would hope it's correct. So when I think of perpetual agreements, I don't necessarily think they're a bad thing. It could be a bad thing depending on the situation, but in most cases, at least like the perpetual deals that I haven't viewed them as negative, because the way I see it is, if it's a reputable company, reputable publisher, they're getting placements, all that does is increases the chances of me making money with my music forever. Because in perpetuity is usually how it's phrased in an agreement. That means forever. Like, they have the right to be able to license your music and enter into deals with other companies concerning your music forever. Like, it just doesn't end. And what that does is ultimately it gives them the freedom and flexibility to be able to do a bunch of different deals, which increases the exposure of your music in different situations. Whereas if it's kind of like it's not perpetual, but say it's like a 3-5 year deal, right? And then rights revert back to you, that's good too in certain instances, but that also limits them, because they may not be able to do certain deals with maybe streaming services or different types of film production companies, because if that ends and you decide you want to pour your music out, now they have to go back to this company and say, oh, by the way, like, we don't represent this music anymore, you can't use it, or you got to talk. It could create a mess. So now they're able to do a little bit more than they would, knowing that, okay, we have the rights to be able to publish and represent this music forever. We don't have to worry about somebody coming back, pulling it out of our catalog and making our clients upset. So from that perspective, that's a huge win when it comes to perpetual licenses or perpetual public sync licensing deals in perpetuity. Tracks Beat says, do you prefer contacting music soups or going through a sync library? I've done both. Most of my work comes from publishers, sync agents, sync libraries, and things like that. I think it's easier to get in with sync libraries, honestly. So, all right. So Asia got that right. She nailed that. And I would hope so, because what I trained her. So I'm not just like, she's not just Chat GPT connected to Chat GPT. She can be, but the software that I use to be able to build Asia, this AI assistant, chatbot, whatever you want to call her, I have the ability to literally take every podcast episode and trainer on that. I can take all of my courses and trainer on that. I can take all of my websites and trainer on that. I can take books. Like I have other AI chatbots that specialize in other stuff like marketing, social media content stuff. And literally I'll take an entire book and like throw it at them and train it. Now they're an expert and they know everything in this book. So like if there's something like if I went through a book and I know, oh, this book had like, it has some really good strategies on, I don't know, pitching to a library or something like that, or pitching to a sync agent. I can just ask the AI chatbot, blah, blah, blah. And then she will literally like pull the information straight from a book. It's insane. So, all right, number 2, stability and security. Once your music is signed to a perpetual agreement, it is locked in with the publisher or library. This can provide a sense of stability and security, knowing that your music is being actively pitched and potentially placed in TV shows and films. So I'm not mad at that. I mean, I think it does. Again, if the company is reputable and they're placing music, like if it's like a new company and they don't have any track record, you can't see any work, any clients, you don't know when the last time they played something, then that's not necessarily security. Like you don't know, you know what I mean? But a company like the BMG Production Music, like it's BMG, like we know BMG is getting work. They're constantly getting placements. They probably can't even keep up with all the placements they get. So I don't mind that with certain companies, because I know it's going to give them more flexibility, which is going to give me more opportunities. And then I'm going to get royalty income forever, because they're going to keep pushing that music. So stability and security. So let's dig into the cons. She got a couple cons. It ain't all positive, right? So if you guys have any questions about this too, just drop it in the chat. Ice cold water, which probably isn't the best thing to drink when I'm talking. But cons: limited flexibility. With a perpetual agreement, you are essentially granting the publisher or library the rights to your music indefinitely. This means you may have limited control over how your music is used or where it is placed. That's a fact. Asia stated another fact. Yeah, you have limited flexibility. So when that could be an issue is, say you have a song, you're an artist, and you have a single that you also want to get placed in TV and film. If you get into a deal and the rights are in perpetuity, that song is going to be tied up with that publisher forever. So, that's it. There's only one company versus, some libraries will, especially if you're an artist, they'll allow you to do like some sort of like non-exclusive agreement with them to where, or if you're working with like a sync agent, right? You could work with multiple sync agents to pitch, your single or whatever, and kind of give yourself more opportunities that way. So, if you're tied down to publishing deal and it's in perpetuity and exclusive, then you can't do that, right? You just have to rely on that one company to be able to come through for you, and get those sync placements for you. So that is one negative. Shout out to Nathaniel Jacobs. What's good, man? All right, so let's see. She has another con here. Let's see what the other con is. Potential missed opportunities. By signing a perpetual agreement, you may be limiting your ability to explore other licensing opportunities with different publishers or libraries, which is true, which we kind of just talked about. This could potentially result in missed opportunities for your music to be placed in different projects. So another great point, and I've lived this personally. I was in a publishing deal where it was exclusive. It wasn't in perpetuity, thank God, but it was exclusive, meaning I couldn't pitch my music to anybody else. Well, if I was in a situation where it was like direct, say it was a music supervisor, then technically, yes, I could send it to the music supervisor, but it's still going to have to go through that particular publisher, and they got to do whatever they got to do, and they're going to want to collect, their respective percentage of the sync fee. However, when I was in that deal, I wasn't getting a lot of placements. In fact, I got like 2 placements, and those were like my first TV placements: NFL Network, Thursday Night Football, and Fox Sports. Those were and that was one track, right? So I ended up making some money, like hundreds of dollars off of that, but that was the only placement I got, and that was like a 3-year deal or something like that. While I was in that deal, I was seeing a lot of other sync opportunities that I could not take advantage of. A lot of companies that seemed real cool to work with, and they were ready to work with me. Without paying any, submission fees and monthly, none of that. It was just, if you have good music, send it to us. We'll sign it. We play stuff on this, and that. It was a lot of opportunities, and I was just like, yo, like, I'm literally stuck right now. And that's probably like the worst place to be, especially when there are so many TV, film opportunities out there for you to get your music placed in. Being tied up in the deal to where you can't even maximize it was kind of, that was a little bit frustrating. So that's why I went so hard when that deal was over, and I was just like, yo, as soon as I get out of this joint, I'm literally reaching out to 3 to 5 companies every single day, and I'm about to run these placements up. And then I ended up getting 10 plus placements in a year. So that's those are some of the cons, those are some of the pros. Shout out to Asia for helping us answer that question. Shout out to Zimzada for asking the question. Hopefully that was clear. But yeah, so what's a good company in your opinion? There's a lot of companies out there, man. A lot of companies. In fact, speaking of AI for producers, I just updated it with with a prompt. It's a prompt you can use on ChatGPT. Like, you don't have to have a custom chat bot like I built here. I'll show you how to build them too, but you can use just ChatGPT 3.5, and it will literally, you copy and paste the prompt that I give you in AI for producers, and it will literally create you a music licensing directory of however many companies you tell it. I think I started at like 50 on the prompt, but literally you can change it to whatever, be reasonable, because you got to copy and paste that stuff. But it'll tell you all the companies, the genres that they specialize in, and the website. So you can go to the website and research it. It's insane. So mixing question: is it better to bounce stems out before mixing and mastering? Trying to simplify the process and steps. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Yeah, if you're outsourcing your mixing and mastering, usually they want stems. Some people will just say, hey, shoot me the session, and then they'll do their thing with the session. But yeah, usually stems is probably best. That way they can kind of pull it into their session, how they like it set up, and makes things a little bit easier. But I would ask whoever's doing your mixing and mastering. If you are mixing and mastering, I don't bounce my stems out before mixing and mastering. Now, I used to. Then I stopped because I was trying to simplify my process too. So now what I do is I have like I mix the sessions, like, kind of as I go, because I work off templates. And then I'll, once I finish the track, I'll put that final mix on there. And then I have my mastering plugins already on my master track. And then all I have to do is just kind of enable them, make some tweaks. And then go from there. And then I'll bounce out, all the stems in different versions and things like that. So that has been super game changer for me. It saves a lot of time. Zimzada says, meaning that one song that you pitched and it was exclusive, does that mean you just can't pitch that song to anyone else or any music at all? Great question. So let me clarify that. So personally, the first publishing deal that I was in, it was exclusive, meaning I couldn't pitch any other music to any other company at all. So everything I produced had to go through this one publisher. So if I wanted to get music to an artist, technically they would want it to go through them, or I would have to reach out to them. Hey, can you send this? Blah, blah, blah. If I got a placement, everything, just everything. However, once I learned that lesson, now I look for sync licensing companies who, a lot of the ones that I work with, they're exclusive, but it's only exclusive to the master, to, the work. So, you can create song A, sign song A to exclusive company A, but then you can go and create song B and then sign that song to another exclusive company B or non-exclusive company B. So look for the deals that still allow you to create new music, and you can do whatever you want to do with that new music and sign it wherever you want to sign it, but it should only be specific to whatever's on, the schedule that they whatever music you assign to them. Is there any way out of a perpetual sync license agreement? No, I mean, like, don't sign it. That's I'm not an attorney. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know. Like, I'm not the type to like find loopholes in agreements and whatnot. A lawyer may be able to, but that's why it's so important. And honestly, Asia was on it. Look, at the end, she says, it's important to carefully consider the terms and conditions of any sync licensing agreement, including perpetual agreements. If you have any concerns or questions, it's always a good idea to consult with a music lawyer who can provide guidance and ensure that you fully understand the implications of the agreement before signing. She own it. I'm just saying. And that's a fact. Like, if you don't understand what you're signing, even if you do, or you think you do, like, it never hurts to have a lawyer, go over that stuff so that, you know what you're getting into. Because at the end of the day, they're gonna be like, yo, if it's on paper, it's in writing, like, you signed it, you agreed to it. So that's what it is. So, that's what I say about that. Just be real careful before signing. And then you should be good. What's up, Uplifted Productions? My master bus has every single plugin. Yeah, I think I have I probably have about 4 or 5. Some of them is just metering. Like, it's not even like, what I'm saying, anything that's doing anything to sound. Is literally just like a metering plugin. So, yeah. Everyday Runway says, how do you store backup your music files? If you use a SSD, do you mind sharing the brand? Yes. So I use Samsung SSDs. They've been pretty stable and consistent. I also have a what's that? I think it's in my backpack. I can't remember. I think is that a Samsung too? I can't remember. No, SanDisk. I have like a SanDisk little thing. I might have it in my bag. Let me see if I have it. Hold on. I do. I usually keep it in here. So I got this little thing. It's super portable, but I put like mostly content. So this is like a terabyte SanDisk. I think I have it on my Amazon store. If I don't, I'll add it. But just go to clintproductions.com/link in bio. Scroll all the way down to the Amazon. and you'll see like a full list of like all the stuff I have. But I use this. I always have this on me on the go. Or if I'm like I need to transfer something, from computer to computer, I'll have that. And then as far as backup, I use Time Machine to back up my main computer. And then from there, how do I have this set up? So anything I'm working on currently gets backed up on Time Machine. My Time Machine backup is on my network attached storage, which is I forget the name. I think it's like a MyCloud thing. I forget the model number. It's like PRS 2100 or something like that. I had to look that up too. But that backs up 2 copies of everything. So it has a couple drives in there. I think each one is about, I don't know, like 6 terabytes or something like that. But it backs up on there, and what happens is it's set up as kind of like a RAID. So if one of the drives dies, the other drive has a copy of everything. So it keeps 2 copies. So then if one drive dies, you replace the drive, and then the good drive copies the second copy of information back over to the other drive. So like there's like redundancy built in. So I'll drag I have a separate folder just on that drive for all of like the older sessions. Like once I'm done working on it, I'll drag it to that, and then it'll be there as well. And then the Time Machine backup is on there as well. So that's kind of how I have things backed up. Then I have another big old drive with like 5 bays for just video content, and it's set up in a RAID as well. So if any of the drives die, there's still a copy on the other drives, and it'll just go back and copy all that stuff. So I'll make sure I add those drives to to my Amazon affiliate thing, so y'all can check it out. Let me make note though, because I definitely legit forget. I think I might have had some of them, but I know it was like a few items. Add hard drives to Amazon. Yeah. Larry Bradshaw, what's good? So are you saying if you have a single out already and I have my own publishing that it would be more difficult to get a placement? Kind of confused. No, not at all. Not at all. So the only missing piece, say you own everything, you represent everything, you publish everything through your own publishing company, and you reach out to directly to a music supervisor. Let's just make that the example. That can go smooth, like especially if you own everything. You just sign off on everything, and then you're good to go. You'll just be responsible for handling all the the admin work that's involved, making sure registrations and with your PRO and all that stuff is good, and writer info and like all of that stuff. However, even if you have your own publishing company, say for example I have ClintMusic Publishing, right? Just because I have that company, if I do a deal with a sync licensing company or a music library, I'm not going to be able to use ClintMusic Publishing unless I do like a co-publishing deal with them. But typically they become the publisher for that. They will become the publisher for that single that, you sign to them if you go that route versus music supervisor route. So that's how that usually works. So since they're the publisher, they usually take the publisher's share of royalties. They'll probably take 50% of any upfront sync fees involved. And then you keep 100% of writer share royalties, and then you get that other 50% of the upfront sync fee, if there is an upfront sync fee. So hopefully that makes sense. If you sign a non-exclusive deal with a song, how many other agencies do you send that track? What's your limit for how many people rep the song? You know what, man? It doesn't really happen that much, man. A lot of companies are just like exclusive because it's been stress-free. It's been easier and less confusing for clients, because they used to receive like a lot of the same music from a bunch of different sources, and they're just like, I don't even know who to pay. Like, I don't even know who to credit because it came from like 50 different places. So you don't really see that too much. And I don't have a limit because, again, like when I got started, 10 years ago, my mindset starting out was I'm going to try and find, because there was a lot more like non-exclusive companies. I was like, I'm going to try and find all the non-exclusive companies and just like send them all this bundle of music and just watch the placements roll in. But it didn't necessarily happen like that. So I didn't have a limit. Like when I was thinking of approaching it that way, I didn't have a limit. I was just like, yo, I'm about to drop these eggs in all the baskets. Like whichever basket I can find, if it's a sync basket, I'm dropping the eggs in there. But now it's going to be more difficult, like to find like 50 non-exclusive companies and just send them all the same music. So my approach is like, if it's non-exclusive stuff, that's stuff that I will upload on some of the non-exclusive sites, stock music sites and things like that. That's how I'll kind of approach that. And I don't necessarily have a limit on that. So Lamar, what's good? Good to see you, bro. Larry, that's a great question. I'm like, okay. Kim Durr is in the building. Welcome, Clint. All is well. I mean, welcome, Kim. All is well with the fam. Hope the same for you. I use the Samsung SSD T7, 2 terabyte externals. Going to buy 2 more for Amazon Prime Day. Let's go. Yeah, Amazon, man. Not mad at it. I use Backblaze as my backup. It's pretty dope. That's dope. I have to check it out. Also backed up 2 other archive discs as well. Got a double backup NAS too. That's the way to go. Well, you was an IT professional. I know, right? That's the IT, the IT part of me coming out. So yeah, because listen, like working in IT, man, I've seen so many things go wrong, man. Like, listen, we're talking about like VPs of very, very large corporations. I used to work for IBM, and I would see so many corporate executives just mad because they didn't back their stuff up. Their SSD on their laptop, they're oh so important and almighty. Everything is on this laptop. It just goes out because when the SSD dies, like, it's not like a mechanical drive where it's like, okay, you get a warning, oh, it's dying, may want to replace it. There's no warning. Like, you turn your computer on and it doesn't come on. Nothing loads. And at that point, there's not much you can do. There's no recovery of just a dead SSD. It's just like, that's it. It's gone. If you didn't back up, you just lost it. So I seen a lot of those situations, and I was just like, yeah, I don't want to be in that situation. Which, I mean, I always kind of back my stuff up, but especially in sync, because again, I've been in situations where I'll send some music in, nothing will happen with it for years. Like, I'm talking like 3 years. 3 years later, publisher hits you back. Hey, we want to use this for a promo on a new show on MTV. Can you send us, a couple different revisions or stems or whatever, So, a lot can happen in 3 years. You can get new computer, just completely wipe the drive. Drive can crash. Computer can crash. I heard one lady, she put her laptop on the back of her car, forgot she put it there, drove, and then realized something fell, backed up, and rolled over her laptop. This is a true story. Uh, and then tried to take it to IT to see if we could. It's like, no, that's not fixable, and it's not covered under the laptop's warranty either. Sorry. So anything can happen in 3 years. So, that's why I take backup really, really seriously, and got like a bunch of hard drives, and SSDs and all that stuff, and always the mechanicals, like, the stuff on the NAS is all spinning drives, and they're a little more expensive than like regular mechanical drives. They're like server like server drives or whatever, so they're made to like spin constantly and like always backing up, because I never turn that thing off. It's just always on, so it's super important. So yeah, what other questions do we have? Excuse me, let me see if I missed any. Here we go. Is emailing sound libraries individually a waste of time, or should I be looking for music supervisors to reach out to individually more? Any tips or best routes to take when pitching? Great question. So think of it like this, right? So if you reach out to a music supervisor, that's one person who, they may be working on a couple different projects at a time. But usually it's not gonna be like an insane amount of projects. If you reach out to a music library has multiple clients. They probably already know the music supervisor you're trying to reach out to, and they probably already have music placed with that music supervisor. So you probably have a higher chance going through the music library where they already have the relationship established, so you can leverage that. They have multiple clients who are working on TV, film, video games, ads, and whatever else, needs music. You put your music in that library, so now you're being exposed to all of those opportunities versus the couple that, a single music supervisor might have. So that's why I think the best route, in my opinion, is to go through a music library or some type of sync agent, because sync agents, can have multiple connections as well and clients as well. I think that's especially if you're trying to get started, you're trying to break in. I feel like that is like one of the best ways to break in, because now you don't necessarily have to focus on trying to spark a relationship through a cold email or reach out and trying to find contact information. Like, now you can take all that time you would be using to research and find a single individual and just reach out to a library who's already, like, a lot of these libraries are already looking for your music. Like, they have the email to submit on their website just waiting. So I think now you're able to focus more so on just creating more music so you can make more money and get more placements, versus spending a bunch of time, researching and trying to pitch to single people. So that's the approach I like to take. When they say no loops, samples, and sync, does that mean you can't use the loops in your DAW or the sample packs that producers sell? You need to create every element of the beat yourself, basically. Now, the loops in Logic, it's not a big deal. Like, I've used some accordion loops and like some random stuff because they wanted some very specific type of music that required accordion that I don't play. So I've used some of that stuff, but I just made sure I didn't just have that, I guess, kind of standing on its own, and try and layer it, or, kind of manipulate it and chop it up. So I haven't had any issues with that. But yeah, sample packs that producers sell, it depends. It depends on the terms in their, in their agreements with the packs and what that says. Because I know in my loop packs, Wave and MIDI loop packs, ClintProductions.com, I put like an agreement in there that says like you can use this for TV and film, but you still want to make sure you're like, kind of manipulating it. I don't know, change the key, chop it up, reverse it, like just get super creative, to where it's not recognized. Because I think that will help you. It'll help you stay out of situations where if someone used it the exact same way, it could, like, now people are wondering, okay, like who's actually the owner of this, which could stop everything. Like, even though it's legal, you have the right to use it. Now they don't know who to pay because they heard this same melody from two different sources, two different creators that's saying they own it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But it's crazy too, because this is something that it's been an interesting conversation, and it has to, more conversations are being had about it, especially between publishers and companies like Splice. And we were actually talking to some people over at Splice and just trying to like get on the same page and like figure out, where the issues are happening. So it's going to take like, a combination of just having conversations with publishers, having conversations with, sample pack companies and all of that stuff to figure out the best way to do it, so that it doesn't create a bunch of headaches. So for now, a lot of publishers just say, just don't use them. Stay away from them. Has to be original. I've even seen agreements where they've added like an amendment that you have to sign saying that you didn't use any loops, any samples. Everything is 100% original. So they be super serious about it. Flip it and reverse that loop, said Missy. Hey, Missy knows best. Missy knows best. So yeah. What other questions do you guys have? By the way, I went to go scope out the venue for a Shades of Sync conference that's happening in Atlanta, November 4th. Join us, so fire. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. So shout out to everybody who already purchased their ticket. Shout out to everybody who will purchase their ticket. Because listen, I know I'm a creative too. I know a lot of y'all last minute. Y'all going to wait till like the week before and then try and load up on tickets. Hopefully you don't wait too long, because we only have like limited seats if you're coming in person. So if you plan on coming in person, the earlier you get your ticket, the better, because number one, the seats are going to start to fill up quick. Number two, the longer you wait, the more the price is going to go up, because, it's just like with anything. You wait to the super last minute to get a flight, you're going to be paying a whole lot more, which happened to me earlier this year. I was a low-key frustrated by that. But, yeah, you wait, it just goes up, so don't wait too long. But it's going to be dope. Everyday Runway says, I'm coming in person. Any idea when the lineup will be announced? Very soon. Very soon. And then fire lineup, too. Yeah, very, very, very soon. That's all I can say. Probably sooner than you think. So make sure y'all stay locked in. I know a lot of y'all, if you don't follow me, ClintMusic on Instagram. Make sure you follow Shades of Sync on Instagram at Shades of Sync. I have a broadcast channel, so if you want to stay in the loop on like all the developments in real time, just go to the link in my bio on my Instagram page, and then you'll see like the broadcast channel. Join the broadcast channel. That's where everybody gets like the updates on everything kind of behind the scenes that's going on. So it's gonna be lit. It's gonna be all day too. Like you will literally, like, we're trying to really make it so hard and impossible for you to fail in sync by coming to this conference. Like we really like every perspective, from music supervisors to music libraries, music library owners, to the tech companies that help us in sync, to coordinators, composers, artists, songwriters, sound designers, people who specialize in video games, people who specialize in ads, people who specialize in TV. Like, it's just like everything you will ever need to know is going to be in that building on that day, November 4th, here in Atlanta. Shades of Sync. So make sure you're there. If you have a song but it's explicit, can you sync the instrumental only if you made the beat and it has no loops? Yeah, the instrumental can get synced. I would definitely create a clean version if you can, though. Because if it's a clean version and a syncable song, I would send the whole song. And then worst case scenario, they just sync the music. Good question. So yeah. Is it true libraries are more for production music and agents are more for full songs? I'm an artist versus a producer, so I'm curious, who should I focus pitching to? It's a good question. No, not necessarily. Libraries represent full songs as well. In fact, like most of the libraries I work with, like most of them are asking for full songs. Like there's been like a super surge and like high demand for like high quality full songs for sync across agents, across music libraries, across that's about it. Music supervisors. So no, like either way you go, sync agent, library, either way you go, you cannot go wrong if you have full songs. Not at all. Do I need a publishing account before submitting? No, not at all. You don't need to have a publisher account to start submitting for TV and film. Sync licensing companies. Using Logic on iPad much with the new version. Did they update the I didn't even know they updated the iPad. Actually, I used it was that last week? Last week. I started a beat in my living room, in my dining room, while eating dinner, and I kept getting interrupted by my son because he was trying to get in. He's like, yo, I need a piece of this publishing, fam. I'm hungry. I need to help pay for these snacks I'm eating in this house. I didn't know they let me see. Let me make sure I'm up to date on this joint. But yeah, no, I did use it, and yep, I took the session. Oh, well, I didn't have to take the session. Like, the session was already on the iCloud Drive joint. So I just came to the computer, opened it up, had to add, import some presets and settings and things like that from my other session just to get it all the way set up like I wanted. Swapped a couple sounds out, and then finished it up on the computer, on the Mac Pro or Mac Studio. And then I went back and opened I opened it up on my iPad to like see what would pull up. The drums and stuff pulls up the sounds that, because I was using like sounds from Omnisphere, and plugins obviously didn't pull up because I was using like third party stuff. But yes, you know what I don't like on mobile, and honestly I think I'm gonna cancel. I think I might cancel the subscription. It's Final Cut Pro on iPad. Final Cut Pro on iPad has been like exponentially trashed to on iPad. Like, it's just like they changed the shortcuts. So like the shortcuts, like I'm like basic shortcuts too, like they're not the same as they are on the desktop. That was annoying. There was no way. The thing that frustrated me the most, because I was working on some video content and pretty much what I did, I sat down, I recorded a bunch of videos in one video, and then I would go in and like chop them up. So on Final Cut Pro on the desktop, you can like select the range that you want to export and just export that range only, right? There was no way to do that on Final Cut Pro on the iPad. It was like I was trying everything. It was so frustrating. So hopefully they add that to an update. Hopefully they add these basic shortcuts that should be the same as the desktop Final Cut Pro. But yeah, I've experienced more frustration with Final Cut Pro on iPad than I have with Logic on iPad. You know, like Logic, it's just like the basic stuff. You know, the basic stuff that you already expect. Like, you already know your Waves plugin is not gonna pull up on the iPad. You already know, you know, you're not gonna have Omnisphere. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like stuff that you expect. So I'm not mad at that. You know, because a lot of the shortcuts are the same, which makes things easy. So yeah, not mad at that. So yeah, I've been trying to play around with it more. Let me see. Do we got time? Last question. Do you have any experience with songwriting? I do. I've written some songs. Michael Flanagan, what's up, Mike? Getting ready to start pitching to more libraries. Is it okay to have the tracks that are signed to other libraries as part of my disco playlist? I know I've asked this before. It's all good. Shout out to Michael, TV placement mastery student. So I would say no. Just because I wouldn't want to tease them. Because if they love them, they're like, oh man, this is perfect. Then they want to sign them, and then you're like, psych, like these aren't available. You know, I wouldn't do that. So I would probably I'll probably swap them out with some newer stuff. So that way, you know, it's kind of ready to be signed, and you don't have to tease them. So yeah. Great question though. The features have changed. Okay. Yeah, I see a couple. No, I see a couple things. I see a couple things in here. All right. So yeah, so I like what's going on right here. All right, y'all. So we gonna end it. Shout out to Zimzada for sparking the conversation on perpetual agreement. Shout out to my AI assistant Asia for helping us answer these questions. If you are trying to level up your production business and you want to leverage AI to be able to get more done in less time, and you know, just crush the game, because a lot of producers, I'm telling you, like, they're not on this, and if you're not learning how to use AI, you're gonna get left behind by all the producers who are learning how to use this, because they're gonna be able to produce at a way faster rate than you, which means they're gonna get more placements than you. They're gonna get more opportunities. They're gonna get more clients. because they use this and leverage it. So if you want to learn how to do that, just go to ai4producers.com. Right now you can get it for a low price, but the price is about to go up. I think it's only like, I don't know, like 30 something available spots for the price that is at now, and then it's going to go up. So make sure you get in on that, ai4producers.com. I'm giving you all the tools that I use, all the AI tools that I use. But then not only that, it's not just some PDF of a list of stuff to use. I'm showing you how you can implement it in your business. I'm showing you how I personally implement a lot of these tools to be able to get more time back, get more done in less time. Because listen, I got baby girl on the way. She about to eat up all the time. So I'm leveraging AI to where I can get more music done, so I can submit to libraries. Like, I can generate ideas way faster because I'm using some AI technology to where I don't have to sit and like think of a melody. Like, I just click a button and now I have like 5 to 10 melodies that I can break down and build around. So it's taking workflow to a whole nother level. So you need to get on it. ai4producers.com. We're about to do live music reviews after this, so make sure you stick around, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.